Now, Russia and Ukraine have each exchanged 150 prisoners of war. It's the biggest swap in recent months. The two sides have wrapped up a new round of talks in Abu Dhabi, mediated by the US. The main sticking point continues to be concessions on territorial control. The Ukrainian president says the talks will continue in the near future, and American envoy Steve Witkoff says he expects further progress in the coming weeks. Audrey MacAlpine has more of the prisoner swap from Kyiv.
This is the first of its kind in the past 5 months. It's an issue that's very near and dear to the hearts of Ukrainians. An agreed 314 prisoners would be swapped, and just today 157 Ukrainian prisoners returned home. The details of these swaps are often kept under wraps. Sometimes the families don't know that their loved one is returning until moments before the bus arrives, or even until that soldier comes off of the bus. Now, while prisoner negotiations have historically been something that the two sides have been able to agree on, Ukraine and Russia, the one thing that they cannot seem to agree on is the question of territory. We know following these negotiations, the question of the Donbass region in eastern Ukraine still remains on the table. It's one of the sticking points of these negotiations. And we do know that in the coming weeks, those negotiations are set to continue, according to President Zelenskyy.
Now, Yulia Shapovalova is in Moscow, and she's got the latest from the Kremlin.
The Russian negotiating team was led by a very high-profile general, Igor Kostikov. He's chief of the main intelligence directorate of the general staff. That means quite a lot, as we understand it here. Just a day before, we heard from NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte during his visit to Kiev, saying that NATO troops will enter Ukrainian territory immediately after the peace agreement is concluded. And he also added that the alliance's member states are purchasing millions of euros worth of equipment for Kiev, and they have no plans to stop. And Moscow categorically opposes any presence of NATO troops in Ukraine. The Russian Foreign Ministry in particular stated that the deployment of Western forces and military facilities is unacceptable and will be considered a foreign intervention because it poses a direct threat to Russia's security, and Russia will consider them a legitimate military target. And definitely a good sign is that the parties agreed to meet again next week. So, of course, we're looking forward to that.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.